starts here.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 23 minutes before 10 o'clock. It's always fun when Bob Chadwick comes into the studio because he brings out the kid in all of us. He loves trains, and he helps us love trains. And Robin and I love trains a little bit more now than I think we have, because we went on one of those old trains. We went on that, what do you call, Orange Blossom Cannonball in Tavares. Only 2 weeks ago we went on that thing, and we went. It was really a ride designed for children to go to the pumpkin patch and get a pumpkin bow. Here we are, two people almost 60 years old, and we're riding on this train. But it was filled with kids. It was just very delightful, and of course the train itself was from the early 1900s, which there's something about that era, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Bob is here to talk about the train show coming up this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. And, of course, let's not forget, this is a fundraiser. It is the Silver Springs Lions Club that puts this on, and they will have this at the National Guard Armory. Children under 12 are free. What else can I tell you about before I say hi to Bob? I think it was $4 to get in, Bob? $4 to get in?
Yeah.
And anyway, so good morning, Bob. How you doing?
Fine, Larry. How you doing? How you doing, Rob?
So am I right? Am I right? It's the old trains that are more attractive than like a modern slick.
They're more nostalgic because there's more things to see. You got the valve gears running and all that back and forth. Where on the new trains, everything's covered up. It just glides along nice and easy. But on the older trains, you see them actually working to get traction.
You know what? When I was a kid, I lived on Long Island, and I probably shared this with you. And I'd get on the Long Island Railroad and go into Manhattan, and there was really nothing to it. You just get on and go. There wasn't a whole lot of I love this train kind of feeling. It was just like that's how you got there. But when I took Robin maybe 2 years ago now to New York, I couldn't wait to show her how we used to get to the city. I just couldn't wait. It was like, oh wow, this is part of my history, and I never realized how much I guess I loved it, even though I didn't even think about it at the time.
Well, it's because it's not part of your everyday thing. When it becomes part of your everyday thing, it's just part of the norm.
Yeah.
But when you get away from it and you start looking back on it, then you realize that there was something there you should have been really taking a good hard look at. But
I truly believe, Bob, that your efforts and with the train shows that you've been doing, you've inspired a lot of people in Ocala to get to make this the hobby of choice for them.
I hope so. We keep getting a good crowd of people coming out every time. We do 2 shows a year, and it's just, I was totally amazed when we did the first show. The number of people that showed up for the first time.
How long ago was that?
That was 1996.
Wow, that is a long time ago.
This will be the 16th year.
Wow. And you, when did you retire?
I retired June 2011.
Okay, so not that long ago.
No.
And you were deputy with the Marion County Sheriff's Office?
Dual certified corrections deputy, yes.
Okay, so I always get the whole title. But the point is, you were working and doing these things. Is it easier now that you're retired, or are you just as busy?
Just as busy, because I'm spending more time on it. It actually seems to be somewhat of a drag because I'm spending more time on it. But it's it seems like, but it's not really. I mean, I'll complain about things, but I love doing this.
Are you a crafty guy? Are you the guy with the little razor blade and glue and wood? Are you the guy that does that kind of stuff?
I don't get into that deep. I will take things apart. I love picking up what they call a clunker, a dirty old engine, some rust on it, doesn't run, seized up, tear it down, pull it apart,
put it
all back together again. I like more of the mechanical. Wow. I do once in a while. I'll do a little bit of craft work and stuff on something.
Do you have little tiny tools? How do you work on that stuff?
Very carefully.
Is it like a watch? I mean, is it kind of like...
It's not as complicated as a watch, but sometimes you get into these very small springs and stuff like that, and sometimes you just gotta put it down, back off, come back about 15 minutes later, and pick up on it again. But
your brain figures it out, right?
right.
And it's just not about the train show, though. You're heavily involved with the Silver Springs Lions Club, and you do wonderful things throughout the year. Money just isn't the main reason for this train show. You're asking for non-perishable food items to donate to the food banks.
Right. We've been doing that now for the last 3 years, and again, this is just something that we decided to do to help out the community. At this time of the year, especially the food banks, they're running low on food. You got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, the holidays and that. So
you've been on a lot, and I have a question I've never asked you.
Uh-oh.
Do you have a favorite non-perishable food item?
Where do you come up with these?
Robin?
Yeah.
Do you have a
good
favorite
question.
non-perishable? I'll tell you mine.
I would say probably tuna fish.
Tuna fish. That's a good one.
I love tuna fish.
I like beefaroni.
That's a good one, too.
Isn't that the one in the can?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, beefaroni.
It doesn't taste like real pasta, but it's got a flavor.
That's right. SpaghettiOs are good, too. You just right out of the can, don't heat it up.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
SpaghettiOs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a big seller.
So what, we bring a can, and that helps us get a discount on the show?
You get $1 off, right?
All right. That's a good deal. And do you see a lot of parent-child combos, I guess, for lack of a better way of asking this question, that show up for the train show?
Oh, yeah. There's people that, they'll bring their kids in, and sometimes the kids are lucky enough to get a train set. Sometimes the parents are just shopping to see what the children, what the reaction is to trains. Maybe the parents had trains when they were younger, and they want to see what their children are going to, how they respond to it and that.
Are you in the train shop a lot? And if you are, is there one in particular? Is it in town? What?
There is a train shop in town. There's Trains of Ocala.
Uh-huh.
And that's probably the only train shop, for about 60, 70-mile radius or so.
Do you spend a lot of time and or money in there?
Not much lately, because money's been tight, and I've been working on other, I have a lot of items sitting around that need work on it, as far as trains go. So I'll just pull something out from underneath the bench and start working on it.
Right.
There's a lot of camaraderie that goes on during the train shows, because you've got seasoned enthusiasts that bring their train gear down here to trade with other people, and then you've got people that are brand new at this and they want to get started somehow. Maybe they want to start a tradition.
Oh yeah, you get that. The people come in and they'll say, "I'm looking for a train set for my children or grandchildren, something to put up around the Christmas tree." I had one gentleman at a show back quite a few months ago, just looking for a steam engine. He didn't care whether it ran or not, but there's one in
Tavares.
He had little. He had just had a new grandson. And he wanted to put a train up on a shelf in the baby's room.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
And I had a inexpensive little engine, and I sold him a steam engine. And he says, I don't care if it runs or not. I just want it looking nice and put it on the wall so he can see a train.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That is cool. See, there's something about that. Have you ever gone to Dee Dee's Doghouse and seen the train layout they have in there?
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll have, like, models just kind of laying around, like sitting on the refrigerator where the sodas are and that kind of thing.
Well, that's kind of like my house.
Oh, really? Now, when we went to see this train in Tavares, they had a caboose. And I know cabooses are... Is it cabooses or caboosei?
Caboose.
A plural? A caboose? Two cabooses is a caboose? Is two caboose?
Or two caboose, maybe?
Are you writing your own language? Caboose. No S's on the end.
One caboose.
Right.
Two what?
Would be two caboose.
Two caboose? Okay. It sounds foreign. Two caboose. Okay. And when we saw the caboose in Tavares, there was only one of them. I on the back of it, you could picture, because these are real trains from 1915, so you could picture that victory train thing that we just, yesterday being election day, when there was a winning candidate, winning politician, sometimes they would be making the rounds, just waving from the back of the train.
Right. Well, actually, with that train there that you showed me the picture of earlier, that wouldn't have a caboose on it. Passenger trains didn't have cabooses, only the freight trains.
Okay, but they have
They
one.
would have what they call an observation car, which the back end of it would be a deck going out with a railing around it where you could stand. That's where you see the campaign, the politicians campaigning off the back.
But does it look like a caboose?
No.
Okay,
No, it's a regular passenger car, except the back end has a portal off the back.
Okay, okay. So the one they have in Tavares is got a caboose, but it wouldn't have in its original form.
Correct.
Because it did have a caboose on it.
Yeah, that was a woodside caboose. It may not be from exactly the 1915 period, but
so what was the purpose of the caboose, and why?
That's where the brakeman and the conductor and that worked the train. That was their office, and that's where they slept, and that's where they ate.
Oh, that was their office. Okay,
Right.
So where do they stay now?
Well, now they don't have the conductors and that. It's all they work off the engine, out of the engine and that.
Oh, okay.
And they have I forget the name of it now, but they have an electronic light that's hooked up to the last car, the flashing red light. See, in the old days, the one of the brakemen and that would light up a lantern
Right.
and go back like 500 feet from the back of the train and put a lantern down in the center of the track and stand there in case an oncoming train was coming. He could wave them down to stop them.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Oh, can you imagine that? Oh, wow. Now, are there competitions for train enthusiasts? And would I lose a point if I put a caboose on a passenger train?
Oh, you would definitely lose a point if you put it. Yeah, because it just doesn't.
Huh.
It doesn't belong.
I didn't know that.
Realistically, the way I look at it, that's the correct way of doing it. But if you had a train layout and you wanted to put a caboose on the back, it's your layout.
Yeah, nobody
it's your
cares.
railroad.
But, I mean, are there competitions? And
No.
No, okay.
No.
Oh, wow, there should be.
There's some people that will look at a layout or a particular train set and say, well, this isn't particularly accurate. They're one rivet off on the number of rivets along the side of the cars.
Oh, no.
It's like, get a life.
Get a life, yeah.
But realistically, trains are for kids. Trains are for people that enjoy trains, enthusiasts, and that's what I consider myself, an enthusiast. It's to have fun. Trains were made to run. To buy a train, put it on a shelf, or leave it in a box in the closet. Put it on the track and run it.
I'm with you. Have fun with it.
That's what they're made for.
Yeah.
And
Don't beat
people-
them up, and if they get too old and fragile, then you put it on the shelf. But at least it died happily.
And we're just kids, and it's not just a guy thing. Robin loves them too. Let me tell you
Yeah, I
something.
do.
When we go to Dee Dee's Doghouse, if that train is not turned on, that little thing that goes around and around and around, she's disappointed.
That's right.
You got to turn the train on.
Tell them to turn the train
Exactly.
And they do. They turn it on.
on. Tell them you won't order until they put it on.
No hot dogs till the train is moving.
There you go.
That's what a great thing also about your show is people from all over come. People from different states will come to this show because it is so huge and so informative and such fun.
Well, that's the whole thing. We get people from all over. They'll come in and looking around to see what they can find. Because when you're into trains or into collecting, I don't care what you're collecting, you never have enough.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
always something out there
That's
that
called
you
hoarding.
don't have that you're trying to get.
That's
And,
right.
you may say, I've got everything. No, you don't. There's always something
always-
out there that you don't have.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that, you can offer $1,000,001 for, and the person's not going to give it up. They want $2 for it or whatever.
Oh,
So,
sure.
I mean, you're always looking for something to try to better. Like a layout. When you build a layout, it's never complete.
So do you know in advance what will be at the train show this year? Like whet somebody's appetite. Oh, I don't have one of them. Somebody who's a train enthusiast.
Not in particular,
No?
but I can honestly say, in the 16 years that I've been doing the shows, I like to sit back towards the afternoon on Saturday and out front and just watch people coming in and going out and seeing what they've got in the bags heading out to the car. Some of them go out 2 and 3 times and come back in.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Talk to some of the people, and one of the things that I've noticed, which is a good thing in my opinion for the show, is a lot of people, it's like, I found something I've been looking for. I've been 8, 9 shows.
Really?
Nobody has them. Can't find
Is there
it.
something that
And
comes
all of
up?
a sudden, I walk in here and there's 2 of them.
Is there something that comes up
Wow.
all the time that fits that
A
description?
majority of the time, and that to me, it's something about the diggings in this area here that like you can dig anywhere for gold, but you got to go where the gold is at.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So apparently, this is kind of the area that like some of the gold is here, and
Well, I
people find it.
You probably don't see it, but I believe you've contributed to that. I mean, because you've promoted it since what, 96? You said.
1996.
So that's that. I mean, you've contributed to it without realizing it, right?
Well, that's yeah, and it's a good feeling because you see people walk out of there and it's like, wow, and they're feeling good about it, and it just makes
Because
you feel good
I-
because you know how you would feel.
I have a collection, recollection of you coming in here with John Lovell, who has passed away, who was with the Lions Club, who would always promote these things as well. And I have a recollection of you and he talking about how you brought the idea to him, and he said, okay, if you think it'll work, but he wasn't so sure it would work.
Well, I brought it to the club back in '96. There was a train shop in town at that time, and I had been frequenting that shop. And the owner of the shop asked if, did you guys ever think of putting a train show on? And
That was it. The rest
I said,
is history,
no,
right?
but that's something to think about. So I went to the club, and I sat down and did a little bit of pre-planning in that, and I went into the meeting, and I said, okay, I've got an idea. I want to propose to the club, and I threw some facts at them and this and that, and different ways of doing it, and they said, well, go ahead, give it a shot.
How much do you typically raise, and what does the money go to?
Well, we raise anywhere depending upon the year. We have raised over $2,000 on some of the first shows and that.
Wow.
Naturally, as the economy gets tighter, the money gets less, but we do somewhere in the neighborhood of at least minimum of over $1,000.
And for those who don't know the good work that the Lions Club does, what does the money go to?
Well, the money goes to buying eyeglasses for people in the area here. The canned food goes to Interfaith. Then operations, if somebody needs an operation through the statewide Lions, we set them up through that. We pay maybe $200 towards an operation, and the Lions entities pick up the rest of it. Just helping out people in general, getting hearing aids and stuff like that.
Do you have a GPS system in your car?
No.
I don't either.
How about theme trains? Because you've got the Polar Express. I bought my brother for his birthday one year a train that had a whole Gators theme from the University of Florida. Could Ocala get something like that trademarked and sell it and make revenue for the city?
If the city was wanted to do that, they could contact Lionel or MTH Banks Train House and set up. They'd have to pay. There would be fees to be paid to do the design work for it, etc. And that. But it could be done if they want to do it.
Because it's
But when
fascinating.
you do something like that, it's a good chunk of money to lay out. First of all, just to do a box car with the name on it, all right, for the stores and that, can run you about $10,000
Oh my gosh!
because they require that you have to do the graphics, approve the graphics, and all that, and then it's usually there's a required amount. In other words, you have to buy 10,000 of them or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
they're not
make
going to
your money
do it
back.
for 100 or whatever.
Right.
By the way, the reason I asked about the GPS system is because a lot of people, even to this day, don't know where the National Guard Armory is, but that's where the train show will be this Saturday and Sunday, and the National Guard Armory is at 900 Southwest 20th Street, so if you have a GPS, you just put that in there, and the little British lady will tell you, turn left here, turn right
what
here.
she sounds
right?
like.
As long as it's not on top of the railroad bridge.
That's right. There you go.
Otherwise, if you're like Bob and Robin and myself, you just follow the Rand McNally and you get there. 900 Southwest 20th Street. The best way I can tell, if you're on Pine and you turn on 17th and you go over that new bridge,
The
right?
first light you come to, turn left.
First light is the left. And the new bridge becomes a great landmark, a great way to
Correct.
to describe how to get there. All right, let's go to the phone. We've got a couple of calls. It looks like. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. See, with model railroading being as big as it is in this country, is there anything like that over in Europe?
Oh, yes. Model railroading in Europe is just as big over there as it is here.
Yeah. Is there anybody like over here that would have like model railroad, trains and stuff that are European? Like their engines and boxcars and passenger trains that are strictly European style.
You could find some. There was I ran into a gentleman about 8 months ago that was selling items that were being made over in Europe and he was a local distributor. I tried to get him to come to one of the shows, but unfortunately he hasn't contacted me yet.
Yeah.
But there are European trains out there.
Yeah. Is there any connect between our country and Europe as far as the memberships getting together or anything?
Not directly to my knowledge, but I'm sure that some club members have gone to Europe and maybe hooked up with a club over there and kind of, just chit-chat back and forth on the internet.
And Lions Club is an international club, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We are the largest
Thank you, Hugh.
service organization.
And let's get another call. Good morning. You're on the air with Bob Chadwick.
Good morning, Mr. Chadwick. As far as Europeans concerned, Markland was one of the biggest European train manufacturers and everything, and they were the ones that used to have the train displays in the toy store in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and right now the name of the toy store just flashed out of my head, but
FAO Schwartz.
Yes, FAO Schwartz had that very large train displays, and they
I remember that, yeah.
European trains, and it's something that never took off here because the radius and everything for the trains there was totally different, and the fact that they had the four-wheeled box cars. It was at 20 and 4 or something like that. They called them, or 20 and 8, 40 and 8. 40 people could ride in the box car, or 8 horses, and it is quite an extensive deal. Another one was I forget the name. It was either Bachmann or something like that in Switzerland. The Swiss have their own model railroad set up because of it's different than Europe because naturally Switzerland is more mountainous. But I think it's an interesting hobby.
Yeah, thank you, Sonny. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Bob, I know we're really close to the clock, but everybody's talking about this is making. I got a question, especially since that train ride we took. Were the cars heated, like for the winter or for the colder places?
Back in the period of the train that you were on, they would have a wood-burning stove.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Nice.
And that was one of the disastrous parts of the trains because the cars were made of wood. You've got hot embers and coals in there. If you had a train wreck, 99.9% of the time you had a fire.
Yeah, not a good idea.
And the majority of the people were killed by the fire.
Oh, gosh.
Train show is November 10th and 11th. That's this Saturday and Sunday at the National Guard Armory. Make it a point to put on your calendar and go down and check it out. It's only $4 to get in. If you bring a can of food, that'll be donated to Interfaith. Is that where it goes? You'll get $1 off admission, so only $3. If you have children, 12 and under, they're free with a paying adult, and it all goes to a good cause. It's for the Lions Club so that they can do the great work they do, the Silver Springs Lions Club specifically in this case. Bob Chadwick, good to see you again. You want to give a phone number or anything? Yeah.
Well,
which one?
Any information, 352-694-6381.
Okay. And we do have it on the flyer here, so I'll repeat it if you call me.
And is there still time for a person to be a vendor if they want to?
No, fortunately, we have sold out. We have stretched ourselves a little thin. We're running 104 tables at the present time.
Wonderful. And there's going to be food there, too.
Yes, there'll be food. We'll have a nice variety of food, hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Funnel cakes?
No funnel cakes.
You're waiting to light up Ocala for that, right?
Light up Ocala, yeah.
I told Robin.
We're in Light up Ocala.
I told Robin this year, I always avoid it. This year, I'm not going to avoid it. At Light Up Ocala, you get my business.
That's right.
Best funnel cakes in town.
Thank you, Bob. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Larry.
We will take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Some would say that this country is in the toilet.